Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here tonight for our annual Women's History Month celebration and flag raising. Let me introduce the people from our town council who are here. To my right, the leader of tonight's program, Councilwoman at Large Lizbeth De Jesus. To her right is Councilwoman Debbie Meehan, covering the 5th Ward of Colonia. To her right, Sharon McAuliffe, Councilwoman covering the 1st Ward of Woodbridge proper and Port Reading. To her right, Vera Patel, 4th Ward Councilman covering Island and Menlo Park Terrace. To his right, Howie Bauer, 2nd Ward Councilman covering Ford's Hope Lawn and Caseby. To his right, Brian Small, Councilman at Large. And to his right, Kyle Anderson, Councilman at Large. Corey Spiller, the Council President, is here. We just had a meeting, so I know he's in the audience, in the building. He'll be here shortly. So I'm going to turn this immediately over to Lizbeth De Jesus, and she helped put this whole thing together and is the organizer behind Women's History Month. Lizbeth, will you take over the show?
Thank you. I usually have something prepared, and today I came really unprepared. But I'm really proud to see the crowd that we have here, the multitude of women and young ladies, multiple different careers, and this is what it's about, is us honoring the women in our township who do a phenomenal job, at the same time being an example to the young ladies that are coming up, letting them know that if we can do it, so can they. So I thank all of you for being here today. My daughters are always with me, Brianna and Maddie, because I am the first Latina appointed and elected in Woodbridge Township, but I know I won't be the last. And they are always with me because they are my inspiration, and they are why I do what I do. They're brothers too, but I always think that it's a little harder for girls to believe in themselves and to realize that they can do absolutely anything that they want to do. And we live in a different world right now, so I want to ask everyone sitting here to please encourage the young girls, whether they're your daughters, your granddaughters, your nieces, your students, encourage them each and every day to believe in themselves, to realize that no matter what's going out in this world, that we're here, that we believe in them, and that they can come to any of us. I know they can come to me. If you ever see me, I'm approachable. You can come and say hi. But Debbie and Sharon, the other 2 women in our township council, the same. And you'll see Sue Borden, who's here as a representative of the Board of Ed. She's always with her daughter, Emily. We believe in what we say, and we act the way we believe everyone should be acting. So again, I thank each and every one of you for being here, the Girl Scouts and the young women from the junior ROTC from Woodbridge High School. So I need them to be honored today because I think it's so important. They are doing something that I never thought of doing, and maybe they'll continue on in a career in the military. Maybe they won't, but they're doing something that it's admirable at their age. They made a choice that should be admirable. So again, please acknowledge them and thank them for the work that they're doing. Colonel Parker, and I'm sorry, but I forgot your name. Sergeant, thank you for being here today. This is the first time you're here, so I'm expecting you back every year, because that's what we do. The women from the fire department, like, we now have women in Woodbridge Township in our fire department that are firefighters. So that's impressive. The women in our emergency services, we have police officers. Any career that you can think of, you'll find a woman in Woodbridge Township doing that job. So again, I thank the mayor, I thank the administration, I thank my fellow councilmen for always supporting me in this endeavor. And that's all I have.
So we annually give out a proclamation for excellence in community service. The young lady getting this award tonight thinks she's here to speak, and I noticed an awful lot of people in the audience who are here with her, and they're all she's probably wondering, why are all these people I work with and all my family here? Well, that is because Kellyanne Amiano is receiving the Mayor's Award for Excellence in Community Service. So this is a long proclamation, but let me just read the most important paragraph. Whereas Kellyanne Amiano, lifelong resident and 3rd grade teacher at Menlo Park Terrace School 19, embodies the 2025 Women's History Month theme by leading community drives, founding the We Feed School program to fight food insecurity, and dedicating herself to mentorship, service, and inclusivity, and beyond in the classroom. I just want to say, Kelly has adopted the issue of food insecurity like nobody else in Woodbridge Township, outside of course, Craig Coughlin, who's the Assembly Speaker, and who does it at a state level. But in Woodbridge, the things she does are simply amazing. There's 5 food boxes all over the area, mostly in Fords, Hope Lawn, and Caseby, where it's needed, and people can drop off food, and then people can pick up food. She has run drives. She's worked with the schools. She's worked with the cafeterias to make sure they take what they're not using for the day and can't use the next day to get it out right away, and we pick it up and bring it to the pantries. Same thing with restaurants. There was an apartment complex that actually, for some reason, the box was removed. We still don't know why, but Kelly acted like they removed one of her children. And she said, you got to get to the bottom of this. You got to figure this out. And we've been working on it. We haven't been successful yet. But I was there for the Have a Heart food drive, as I was for, at a lot of other different schools. And the passion she has for this issue is just absolutely amazing. On top of all that, there's a group called One on One, which is connected to the Fords Knights of Columbus, a whole bunch of men who used to belong to my Knights of Columbus in Island. We always did hand in hand together every year at Middlesex County College all day with a gigantic picnic and rides and games and everything for that population. And these Fords guys continued it with One on One, and they meet at our Island Knights of Columbus. And Kelly helps run that with her family and all her friends. So once a month, these special needs adults get a chance to have fun and get out of their school environment and do different games. And they have Santa Claus, and they have the Easter Bunny, and they have all kinds of things. So she's committed to that population too. She does so much for this town of Woodbridge Township. You heard her say she's a lifetime resident from Island. She's got a whole lot of connections to Menlo Park Terrace, the best section of Woodbridge, if I have to say so myself, where my mom still lives and where I grew up. But I just have so much admiration for Kelly and the job she does, because she does it because she loves doing it, because it's the right thing to do. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present the Mayor's Award for Excellence in Community Service to Kellyanne Amiano, and let her maybe say the speech she thought she was going to make anyway. Congratulations. Yep.
I was hoping for a podium, but this'll do. I was thinking I was going to get a podium, but okay. Hello. I'm so surprised. Listen, I'm trying to make it quick for Mrs. Mackey. She's already complained once. I have to go. Okay, good evening. I would like to thank all of you for coming. I am honored to have been selected to raise the flag for Women's History Month. This year's theme is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. I began teaching at Menlo Park Terrace in September of 1986. Now, I know it's been 38 wonderful years, but this is the time we are all looking at each other saying, not till September, not till September. This is the part you're looking at each other saying, oh, but she looks so young. How could she have been teaching for 38 years? Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. I have always tried to lead by example. Children always want to be included and help whenever they can. School 19 does a variety of activities to help our students be motivated and to always participate. Our building is very community-oriented. Each month, we have different drives that include all of our students. Backpacks, school supplies, coats, Thanksgiving food, toys for tots, hats and gloves, soup for the Super Bowl, autism awareness, our veterans breakfast. These are just to name a few. But before I begin what I do, I would like to quote Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that others will join you. My fellow joiners, thank you. That is what I have tried to do at Menlo Park Terrace 19. 11 years ago, I approached my principal, camera to Margaret Trooper, started to have a sharing table in our lunchroom. It all began with a little girl, Mrs. Smith remembers this, the little girl who asked for leftover carrots and apples from our lunches. Linda Treebosser and I started researching the concept of shared tables. A shared table is where all the students put the leftover lunches that they do not want, that are already sealed for other students that could still be hungry or whose mother forgot to pack them a snack, and they could eat it themselves. We started collecting these leftovers to share with our food-sensitive students. With the help of our guidance counselor, Amy Volpe, she would call the parents of our food-sensitive families and ask if we could send them home their food. At first, we were only sending home food bags on Fridays to our families for the weekends, since their children would not be getting breakfast and lunch daily. Soon, Katie Dowd, back row, got involved, and we put containers into our hallways for students to separate food into our refrigerated and non-refrigerated bins. These bins are in all 4 wings, and we collect daily. Our students have been taught by faculty and staff where the food goes, and the classroom teachers have helpers that help put this food out daily. We feed 12 families twice a week. Besides our leftover food, we also get supplemented from Be the Change, from under the direction of Dr. Norma Bowe from Kane University, which delivers us canned goods from the Central Jersey Food Pantry right to our building. A special thanks to Philip Joswick, who delivers directly to our food every week. I also get food from the Replenish Pantry in East Brunswick, and Peter Barcelona from We Feed Woodbridge also is just a phone call away to help us keep our pantries full. When COVID hit, our students were not getting fed from us, so I called Mayor McCormick, and I explained that I would like to have him build mini pantries and have them constructed. The 3 places I initially asked for were Menlo Park Terrace on school property, in New Brunswick on New Brunswick Avenue in Fords, and in Hillside Gardens in Keysby. The reasons for these mini pantries was for our school communities to have access to food daily. The mayor had our township carpenters build these mini pantries that look like mini libraries, but they were made slightly larger to accommodate a full-size box of cereal. These mini pantries are filled every week by myself, my family, my friends, teams, veterans, students, the Columbianettes, the Knights of Columbus, and my fellow teachers. They're all here, look around, to do it. And we became We Feed MPT 19. It takes a village to keep this going, and I am grateful for the help from Howie, where's Ingrid? And Ingrid Bauer, who gave us donations of food bags so that we could feed our families twice a week. Ingrid and I can do a lot with a few text messages and a couple of phone calls in the teacher's lunchroom at lunchtime to get things done also. Debbie Meehan also helps with whatever we need whenever she can, and we are very appreciative for that. My fellow teachers, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, the one-on-one organization, churches, teams, veterans, family, friends, and students help me keep these mini pantries up and running. Whatever I need, my family and friends shop for me, and whatever is needed. My parents, Bob and Florence Hall, taught me from a young age the value of volunteering and giving back to my community. And that is what I try to help all the time to continue to do. My husband Lou helps me by filling and maintaining these mini pantries, and you know, the heavy lifting and things I'm not going to do. My children, Bobby and Jillian, Bobby typed this, which is why his name is first, always they're there whenever I need them to do whatever has to be done. My sister Kathleen always shops to add food to help our cause. I would also like to thank my students, who are always eager to help me sort food. But I have 2 special teachers that, Linda and Katie, are my dream team. I could never do what I do without the help of these 2 women who are there always to help whenever they need to. I also have a special thank you to 2 students, Jacob and Daniela, who both volunteered to help me write this speech for tonight. The Ruth Bader Ginsburg is from Daniela. Okay, it is heartwarming to see K-5 students sorting food, donating to our mini pantries, and to see families walking up with their children just to make a deposit into our mini pantries. It is amazing to be the seed that started this movement that has grown bigger and better than anything we ever could have expected. I am proud to have shown others what one small act of kindness can grow into. I look forward to what the future holds for We Feed MPT 19. Thank you once again for this honor. I appreciate it more than you know. Mwah. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
As you can see, my introduction of Kelly was woefully inadequate. Based on all those things she has in her resume, I picked out a couple of them. I didn't even know all those things. All I got to say, though, as somebody who runs the town, I know that you can't do it without the support of your leaders. And Margaret Troop is a fantastic principal. She herself is the daughter of a former mayor, Phil Syria, who I've known all my life. I grew up in Menlo Park Terrace, went to St. Cecilia's. Phil was a longtime councilman in the 4th Ward. To us, he was the mayor of Island and Menlo Park Terrace for many years. So it's a guy I've known and worked with in a number of different ways. He worked for the town, worked with him on campaigns. He's a wonderful person. He raised a great daughter, and you do a great job running School 19. So thank you. And we'll take a picture. You want to take a quick picture now? Okay, let's take. Oh, you know what? Let's do it later because we got to get outside. Let me ask now, Debbie and Sharon, if either one of you would like to come up and say a few words as women council people. Stay up here. Stay up, Kel.
I'll be quick because I really do think Lisbeth said everything that Sharon and I feel together. To see the Girl Scouts here and the military and the police officers and fire women and first aid, it's amazing that our community is put together with so many wonderful, wonderful women that do wonderful things here. So I'm proud of all of you guys and keep doing what you're doing. So you have many, many role models in this room if you look around, all the women. So just keep watching them.
It's great to see everybody here tonight. I like to see the new EMTs that we have here. Our new EMT girls are here that are working for the town now. Congratulations on your new appointments. We appreciate all that. And it's so great to see the Girl Scouts here. You start from there, you get a good foundation, you start and you move your way up. Girls can do anything if they put their mind to it. They can maybe one day even be the President of the United States. You never even know. So just keep yourself going out there. You can be business owners, you can be CEOs, you can be moms and work in the school and be a PTO parent. Whatever you do, just take pride in what you do and always know that you can be proud of yourself and always be successful. Just believe in yourself is the most important thing, because that is what you have to do to become successful in life, is to believe in yourself. Thank you.
We're running a little bit late. I wanted to introduce Carolyn Ehrlich, who's the highest ranking woman in the Woodbridge Township government, as Chief of Staff and Head of Redevelopment. Carolyn Ehrlich, former council person, had an 11-year career on the town council, now has worked for the town government for the last 18 years. The woman who put this whole event tonight is our Deputy Communications Director, Megan Kushba. And I'd like to ask Kyle Anderson would like to say a couple of words. Key word there being a couple.
Very quick. Thank you, Mayor. I was just moved by Kelly's speech because we have a lot of people in here that I kind of grew up with and some people that I've interacted with, but I know Kelly as Kelly Hall. I grew up in Island, and Kelly and her brother John, they were good friends of mine and my brother's, and I saw Kelly walk in, and I was moved, and she told me that her mom was here. And I wanted to acknowledge her, all right? And the reason I want to acknowledge her was because for several years, she was my crossing guard every day that I walked to school. And you have no idea how much a crossing guard means to a kid when they're going through things on their way home. And I got so many hugs from Mrs. Hall. Her husband and she were the sweetest people that I knew. They were always so nice. John and I started playing baseball together in minors. And every day I would go to school, and if I had a note that I had to bring home, I ran it by Miss Hall on how I was going to explain it to my mom or anything. She made sure I was safe, but she always had a kind word, always had something really nice to say. And, you know, Kelly, it's no wonder you're doing what you're doing. And on behalf of the county, as a county superintendent, I truly appreciate it. We work very closely with Replenish, which is our county-wide feed system for the students, and food insecurity is real, and we have to make sure that there are kids, and there's nothing that makes me more emotional than when I see the commercial with the boy who opens up his lunchbox and it's empty, and he goes out and gets a drink of water, and he comes back and his classmates filled it up for him. Okay, and that's what it means to go to school every day and to know that there are kids that that need that and need something on the weekends as well. My daughter is now a teacher, and I hope she can be exactly like you. Thank you very much.
Evening, will call the council meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving for us. Thank you. Mr. Mitchell.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The annual notice schedule was published in the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger on January 10, 2025. A copy of the schedule was posted on the municipal bulletin board. It should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Anderson. Here. Councilman Bauer. Here. Councilwoman De Jesus. Councilman Ficarra. Councilwoman Meehan. Here. Councilman Patel. Here. Councilman Small. Here. Vice President McCullough. Here. And President Spiller. Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from February 18, 2025?
Motion?
Second. Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we'll take letter A first, which is an amendment to Chapter 7 entitled Traffic and Parking. And this is to add handicap parking on Loretta Street in Hope Lawn.
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We also have a second reading on letter B, an ordinance amending the sewer user fees under the general ordinances, chapter 28. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on this letter, letter B. Hearing no comments from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. First reading ordinances listed, letters C, D, E, F, G, and H. Can I get a motion that these ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on March 7, 2025, with notice of public hearing to be held on March 18, 2025 at 6 p.m.?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And Mr. President, under resolutions, you have listed 1 through 19. Can I get a motion by consent to approve 1 through 19?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments from council?
Yes, Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to abstain from number 19. Thank you.
So noted. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We'll now move to the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. When approaching the microphone, please state your name and what section of the township or state you live in. You'll have a one-time opportunity to speak up to a 5-minute period. All videotaping must be taken from the rear room in the designated area. And again, the public session allows for 5 minutes.
Hello, Mr. President. Ken Gardner, 101 Scoter Avenue, Woodbridge. If I could just start in honor of Women's History Month, to go way back, our first councilwoman was Kathleen Hamilton, way back in 1984, so it's a long time ago. Got to know her well. I had the pleasure of serving as her campaign treasurer, so I'd ask everybody to keep her in mind. And I also want to highlight, tonight we had some EMTs, female EMTs and female firefighters here. There's been Linda York is a volunteer firefighter with me here in District 1. She's in the volunteer fire company for more than 20 years. As everyone knows, it's quite a different world than it was 20 years ago. So I really take my hat off to her for the outstanding work that she's done. These young ladies that are getting these jobs today, whether they're career jobs, other volunteers, we have Mary Wirtz over in Island, the first volunteer fire chief. Many of them are standing on the ground that Linda built way back when. So I think we should give her some recognition as well for all the great work that she's done. When I worked for state government, I worked for the Office of Small Business, Women-Owned Business, and Minority-Owned Business. And during that time, our team, I'm very proud that we were able to establish $1 billion in contracts to those groups. And to the young women that are considering starting businesses today, I just want to offer, there's a great program. It's called the Small Business Development Centers. When I worked in Trenton, I had, one of my functions was to be the liaison for the federal contract that was involved with the Small Business Administration and the New Jersey Small Business Development Centers. That program is still going strong. There is a branch at Rutgers, Piscataway, New Brunswick, and I believe there's a $20 fee or something to get into the first program to learn something about starting a business, and there's other program, but none of it is too expensive. It's not the college fees you're not paying. So if you just Google New Jersey Small Business Development Centers, they're located at the Rutgers Business School. Something else young ladies might want to take a look at if they're interested in starting a business.
I'm sorry, sir, you said that New Jersey Small Business Development?
New Jersey Small Business Development Centers, and they're in partnership with the United States Small Business Administration.
Thank you.
They're headquartered up in Newark, but they have a branch at the Rutgers Business School in Piscataway. At the last meeting, I learned a lot about Sequest from so many speakers, and I really believe that I know the town is taking the action that it said it could under its specific license, but I think that the town council should consider the resolution that the group was offering. There's so many bad things that have happened there from what they've talked about, from the leadership and everything else. I really think the place should be closed down. At the last council meeting, I also spoke about funding in the pilot programs. The Woodbridge Fire District is putting a small addition onto their firehouse, so that is a capital project. They also just bought a new fire truck, which is also a capital project. The mayor had said that the pilot money was being used to fund capital projects. So those are two great examples. Although 1,100 apartments have been built within a half mile of the firehouse, and there's, I believe, over $3 million in pilot programs from those projects in this year's budget, money should really be going to the fire district. Why should the fire district be providing a service to all these properties, but yet not receive any revenue? They don't get any tax. They certainly deserve the fee. In addition, although it is not a capital expense, it's an operating expense and salaries, the fire district has built a significant administration with a career fire chief, I believe 5 deputy fire chiefs, and so I believe funding should be sent there as well. The council has the right to review the budget and control the budget process, and so I would ask for that consideration to be made with those dollars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Sir, when you're ready, you can just go right up.
Good evening, council members. My name is Nicole Paternoster, and I'm from the Avenel section of Woodbridge. So today, I would like to kind of elevate this. I have been coming here regularly to talk about an ordinance within the township, but I would specifically like to address Assemblyman Coughlin and ask his help in supporting animal welfare protections in New Jersey. I would urge you to sponsor a bill like Nosey's Law, which banned the use of wild animals in traveling acts, but to extend this protection to permanently house interactive aquariums and petting zoos that exploit exotic animals for entertainment. Facilities like Sequest and Blue Zoo operate under the guise of education, but have been repeatedly cited for animal neglect, public safety violations, and poor conditions. These businesses prioritize profits over proper care, leading to stress, injury, and even death for the animals in their care. Children and visitors have also suffered bites, scratches, and unsafe interactions due to lax regulations. This proposed legislation would not impact reputable facilities that prioritize animal welfare. Accredited zoos and sanctuaries, specifically those recognized by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, AZA, would be excluded. Our goal is not to punish responsible institutions, but to stop exploitative, for-profit petting zoos and interactive aquariums that harm animals under the pretense of education. So what this bill would do, prohibit public contact with wild and exotic animals for in-profit interactive aquariums and petting zoos, require a higher welfare standard for businesses housing exotic species, and ensure accountability for facilities with a history of violations and of negligence. New Jersey has already led the way with Nosey's Law, and it is time we extend these protections to other animals suffering in commercialized captivity. I respectfully ask you to champion this cause and help New Jersey set the standard for ethical and responsible animal care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the public?
You want her information?
Yeah, excuse me, ma'am. Sorry. You've been told this, that gentleman who's standing up over there is from my staff. If you go to the bill, get your information. Thank you.
Hi again. I'm Jessica Mayer from Avenel. I wear this sweatshirt every time I come here to remind you of something. This is not a gimmick that I came up with. This is the truth. It's a fact, and it's not past tense. I have a question. If the Department of Fish and Wildlife found enough violations of neglect and cruelty to revoke the permit and then seize the exotic animals last week, and knowing that these animals, such as the sloth and the otters, were Sequest's main money makers, what do you think that they are giving as far as care for the unregulated animals that are there as space fillers? Sequest was negligent with the animals that were being closely monitored from Fish and Wildlife. Why would they give proper care to a pig or a rabbit that they can easily replace and no one would know the difference? You said yourselves that you have no idea which animals are there, where they came from, what could have happened to the ones that disappeared. Were they rehomed? Did they die? And if they did die, what did they die from? Now, I did the Oprah request and I saw the vet report, which was just, seemed to me, a vague look over at everything. When you take your animals to the vet, your dog, your cat, the vet actually has hands on the animal. They go over the records from the previous year. They do blood work, they do vaccines. None of that was done. And from what I read in the Oprah report, the vet that is for Sequest was not made aware of the missing animals, said that she was not part of their rehoming. So why is there nothing, there's no paper trail? Where did these animals go? Or like some that we know of that were put into plastic bags and thrown into the trash, is that what happened to them? There needs to be some kind of record for these animals and their vetting of how they're being cared for, not just they look okay. Council President, at our last meeting, you were asked a question by someone here, how long do we have to wait for something to be done? And your reply was that this is not 1800, and we can't just march down there and close the doors. And it's not 1800, and there's absolutely no reason in today's day and age that these animals need to be held prisoners for humans to gawk at. and be led by a concept that it's okay. There are other means of learning about how animals really should be cared for and how they should be living their lives. There are nature documentaries, interactive online educational tools, and legitimate animal sanctuaries. We have unlimited options for kinder entertainment, a greater understanding of compassion, animal sentience, and the importance of freedom and autonomy. Sequest came into existence for profit only. They are failing. They are no longer profitable. They didn't do any of this for any kind of education or conservation. It was all about greed. To quote David Attenborough, if children don't grow up knowing about nature and appreciating it, they will not understand it. And if they don't understand it, they won't protect it. And if they don't protect it, who will? Sequest is not nature. It's unnatural and it's cruel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Greetings. My name is Jameson Rosado. I'm a resident of Woodbridge. I reside at 86A Golden Square Court. I'm coming here to seek some assistance from the council because the state, the city, and the county levels have failed me in this matter. I'm a former supervisor of the FBI Newark Division before I was wrongfully terminated in 2012 for what the EEOC identified as whistleblower reprisal, but refused to remedy. I filed suit in 2015 after the EEOC wasted X amount of years of my life that I'd never get back, only to have the district court waste 10 years. This year, this matter is a decade old. So the district court dragged my complaint out from June 12th to 2015 till August 5th, 2020. 2 days later, the district court judge, who's no longer a judge, now retired, abused his office by sending marshals first to the Carteret Police Department, where I resided at the time, and then to my home, where they entered unlawfully to discuss my recently dismissed case. Several days later, on August 13th, after the district court judge had a phone call with me, the Carteret police came back to my home, this time to arrest me, where I would be charged with a turpo harassment complaint to help the FBI take away my firearms, and a harassment complaint, both in the name of the Carteret police officer, but who was not the first Carteret police officer who showed up at the first unlawful visit to my home on August 7th. So, long story short, the officer who never showed up for court, and these are state charges because the district court judge specifically did it that way, the officer never showed up for court. The FBI has the Carteret police have my guns now for 5 years. I've been trying to get it back. And I was railroaded in not one, but two state proceedings, one by Colleen Flynn in New Brunswick, the other by Alan Comba in Carteret. The first judge to sign off on the turpo was William Feingold. For 5 years, I've been asking what was presented as probable cause for him to sign those warrants. I've gotten nothing from the state, the city, the town, or the federal district court. What the district court failed to mention to the Carteret police before filing these false charges was that in the lobby of the courthouse, while my case was pending, there was I call it a prejudicial document akin to some sort of active shooter bulletin. The court did not anticipate I would find out about this. I found out about it. I've been very specific in requests for it, and I did an Oprah request with Carteret. Carteret does not have the document, and I said, I'm not surprised because I'm not supposed to know it exists. There's a photo of me in a beige suit from my FBI employment. The judges' names are on the document, and the document is dated 2017, which was right in the middle of my complaint process. Most recently, they dismissed it for a third time. I've been to the AG's office for New Jersey. I was escorted out of the door. Now, keep in mind, in my civil matter,
Excuse me, I'm sorry, 1 minute. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here, because I want to make sure you get everything out of your 5 minutes. What are we doing here in terms of Woodbridge? That's what, I want to make sure
Well,
you are, I want to make sure you're heard. What are we doing here?
okay, it's a county issue as far as being here. I didn't go to Carteret because I don't reside there. So what I wanted to do was, the district court's been fighting with me about judicial immunity. And I said, when I tell you that there's a document with the judge's name and a date of 2017, there is no such immunity. What you're confusing is I'm not supposed to know about that document, and the court never prepared for what happens if the litigant finds out about this prejudicial document. What the judges have been doing has been keeping me out of the courtroom so as not to have a say, because they don't want to address that egg on their face. So my reason for being here was to come to some public forum, because I'm going to come back in another month, and when I leave here, I am going to Carteret Municipal Court to actually give Judge James Pastor these words, this statement, because nobody is doing anything.
All right, thank you, sir.
And when I was arrested,
I
the
appreciate
Carteret...
your 5 minutes are up. You're more than capable. Reach out to myself as council president, anybody. We'll try to help you out the best that we can within the parameters of what we can do, being that it's a legal case. But thank you very much.
Judges fixing cases doesn't concern you?
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Council. It's Carrie Spuga from Seaside. You may have seen there have been several press releases about Sequest and how New Jersey Fish and Wildlife revoked their permit. So I wanted to read some that were fresh off the press. This is New York Times. Woodbridge made New York Times. This is updated March 4th, which is today. New Jersey regulators accuse Interactive Aquarium of mistreating animals. The Woodbridge, New Jersey location of Sequest, an interactive aquarium and animal attraction that promotes encounters between people and wildlife, was raided by New Jersey officials on Thursday after regulators said a lengthy investigation showed it had repeatedly violated animal protection laws. In a statement, Fish and Wildlife Division of the state's DEP said it has seized 25 animals, including a sloth, otters, a toucan, pythons, and critically endangered amphibian called an oxalotl, and found new homes for them after Sequest failed to properly care for them. Woodbridge made the New York Times. Also, another article that just came out today, mycentralnewjersey.com. This is just today, March 4th. The State Department of Environmental Protection, Division of Fish and Wildlife, removed 25 animals from Sequest Zoo and Aquarium at Woodbridge Center following continued violations. The removal, which occurred Thursday, came just weeks after the state began the process of revoking the facility's permits. So we keep seeing articles over and over and over again about Sequest's death, neglect, abuse. They filed bankruptcy. And then also they said in the hearing that as of mid-February, they no longer had money to take care of the animals. So it's a skeleton crew over there, and it's just very cruel. And we're asking that you look into it a little bit further and see how you can help. Now, regarding the illegal fish pedicure, last time we were here, we were told that Woodbridge Council was not responsible for the fish pedicure. And for those who don't know, it's when the public puts their feet in a tank full of fish and the fish bite their feet. But that causes microabrasions, which causes disease to spread to humans. That's why it's illegal in New Jersey, because of disease spreading. Now, last time, at the last council meeting, we were told that it's not Woodbridge who oversees the illegal fish pedicure, but rather Fish and Wildlife. So guess what? Fish and Wildlife were contacted. They said they do not oversee the illegal fish pedicure. So has there been any progress made, or who oversees the fish pedicure?
As we discussed last meeting, it's the fishing game.
Absolutely. So it's covered by either Department of Cosmetology or Fish, Game, and Wildlife. We do not enforce state statute.
Thank you.
Okay, the Board of Cosmetology told the PETA attorney that they are not in charge, and they put the complaint over to Woodbridge Health Department, and Woodbridge Health Department didn't take any action. And it's not Fish and Wildlife. We were told by James Oxley at Fish and Wildlife that they do not cover fish pedicures. So who could take responsibility for the illegal procedure that's being done in Woodbridge at Sequest at the Woodbridge Mall?
Council President, so Woodbridge Township, along with our attorney, notified Fish, Game, and Wildlife, along with the Division of Cosmetology, just before the new year. They have our complaint, and it's filed with them.
With Fish and Wildlife?
With both Fish, Game, and Wildlife and the Department of Cosmetology.
Okay, so we're in waiting mode again as possible disease could spread.
I'm sorry to hear your comment.
So disease could be spreading as the public's putting their feet in this contaminated water. It's an illegal procedure, but we've been waiting for months, 6 months.
As we told you before, we can't enforce a state statute. That's up to the state divisions to take care of that.
All right, so we'll contact New Jersey Fish and Wildlife again. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Camillo from Aberdeen. Good evening. As you can see, I've been around for a few years, and I hope to have learned some things in my time. One is that to lead a good life, one should try to reduce the amount of suffering in the world. Most, if not all, religions and ethical codes support this idea. I assume that you try to reduce the suffering of the children in your life, the seniors, the cats, the dogs, other pets, and I hope the residents of Woodbridge. The noted English 18th century philosopher Jeremy Bentham said, "The question is not can they reason, nor can they talk, but can they suffer?" He was not referring to humans when he said that. And what is suffering? I think one way to suffer is not being able to do that which is your natural inclination, especially when you cannot do anything to change your situation. The animals at Sequest may be healthy. Prisoners in jails are mostly healthy, yet I think they would agree that they suffer. However, they did do something that got themselves into jail, but the animals at Sequest have not done anything to get them where they are. And they are suffering. George and his companions cannot see the sun, breathe the clean air, or roam free. They exist in small enclosures, some alone, some crammed in with others, relying on hired help to keep them clean and fed. They are subject to unnatural noise, artificial light, unwanted touching that they cannot escape from. But does this endless suffering gain anything? Sequest doesn't seem to be gaining since they are losing money and have gone bankrupt. Employees don't seem to be gaining since enough of them have quit over conditions there, and I don't think it provides much in the way of career advancement. The young visitors may gain short-term pleasure and knowledge that we can bend and control nature and its residents. But is that what we really want to teach the young? Shouldn't we be teaching compassion and understanding? Now, you may think that George and his companions' suffering is a small thing, but I believe a short parable will help here. Perhaps you know it. A man is walking down a long beach. In the distance, he sees a person moving oddly at the water's edge. As he gets closer, he sees that there are hundreds of starfish on the beach. The tide has washed them in. As he gets to the stranger, who's throwing the starfish back into the ocean, he says, "What are you doing? There are so many. You can't make a difference." The stranger replies, "I just made a difference for that one, and this one," as another starfish goes flying back home. So, I ask you to try to lead a better life and end George and his companions' suffering by releasing them to sanctuaries. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, John Vitale, Woodbridge. I want to rephrase a little bit different way. My daughter travels all over the country, federal government, and her, which I don't kind of agree, she always brings cats from Pakistan, from Jordan, from Serbia. Every 2 years, she's got to be out of the country. And she says it takes more documents to bring an exotic animal or any animal to the United States. All the papers, all the shots, all everything else. When you got exotic animal over here, by having it over here, because I just heard that they removed 25 of them, how long they were there? How many animals did they condemn, what you call it, got sick because of them? How many people got sick from them? You know, I admire those people here that tell you something's wrong here. It's not just in Woodbridge, find other places, how they handle it. It's not your job, I would say, it's somebody's job. If somebody said there's a fire, you pay attention to it. So if we can have other states or other towns, why do we Woodbridge? That's all we want to know, because it's dangerous. I mean, I travel a lot. You can bring the airports, you can bring anything without permission, meaning it's clear, it's vaccinated, if it's animal or something like that. So I admire them, but speak you up, it's your job to find out who's responsible for it. And again, being a hairdresser for the last 60-some years, I don't think they went to school 1,200 hours like I did 50, 60 years ago. Cosmetology license will not cover pet stores or anything like this. Board of Health might, but not cosmetology. So don't put it on from this person to the other person. If we got a problem, and we all got to get together because they tell you if something is wrong, we know it's wrong, so do something about it. You know, look all over the country how they do it. But don't just let it be and give them a fine and get away. It's dangerous. Because, you know, look at what now. Chickens are dying, the birds are dying, fish are dying. So why? So thank you. Congratulations. I want to say a couple of things over here. But 4 weeks ago, we had casualties on Linden Avenue and Grove Avenue.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vitale.
The
About
car
4
being
years ago, what?
4 weeks ago, approximately, there was an accident on the Grove Avenue and Linden Avenue, and I believe the lady died, young girl died, was lady, somebody like that. And of course, we got the same problem in High Street, my other place. What you have got Church Street and Linden Avenue, you got a stop sign that is flashing lights. And it seems to work because people speed. And I don't say people rush to go to Carteret always. Because there's only 4th Street between Green Street and Church Street. There's a way to get to the Grove Avenue and go to Carteret. So if you can put a traffic light that there's a, not traffic light, stop sign, there's a flashing lights on it like you go to Church Street and Linden Avenue, it would be a great idea. A second thing, I would say that would be great. But again, Mayor, in 3 weeks, we will have springs coming. My question would be, how far did you give the EPA to open the Casby Park? Because it's finished a couple of years already. But
Direct your question over here, Mr. Vitale.
Pardon me?
You direct your question through me, and then I will.
Okay, I'll get
give it
to
the mayor.
you. How long would it take? You've been there a long time. How long is it going to take to get the permits from EPA to open the park? You said you open now, you got EPA approval from different things, which is, I don't want to mention it, but how long is it going to take before you get approval? And the third would be,
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Vitale. Can you stop the time for 1 second, please? Sir, if you're recording, that's great. If not, we don't wait online. You'll be heard.
Okay,
Take a
wait.
seat.
I
If
got
you're
time.
recording,
I
if you're
got time.
recording,
I got
fine.
time. You know the answer, please. I
I
got
stop
time.
your time, Mr. Vitale. I'm not talking to you, sir. I'm talking to the gentleman behind you. If you're recording, that's fine. If not, take a seat. You'll be more than, everyone will be heard. Thank you. Please start the time, Mr. Mitch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vitale.
Okay, we have a metal detectors over here. We got metal detectors when you go to a school board meeting. And
1 minute, sir.
Metal detector, you got a detector at the school board. My question would be, how come they have metal detectors at schools? That's what it's supposed to be, because the schools, we're supposed to have a security, we're supposed to have a police, we're supposed to have, but you don't have metal detectors. Why are we more important here than our kids in schools?
If you're asking why there are metal detectors at school, that's a school district matter. You should take that question up at the school district, sir.
I didn't hear what your school said, what?
If you're asking about why there are metal detectors in schools,
They're not in
that
schools.
is a school district matter. You should take that up at their school district meeting, sir.
I did.
No, you take it
Thank
up
you.
again then if you didn't get your answer. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening? Here are no other comment, can I?
We're going to keep rolling this along, otherwise we're going to close the public portion.
Hello, Jeffrey
Please don't touch the
Wisniewski
microphone. You'll be heard. Thank you.
from Patterson, New Jersey. Jeffrey Wisniewski. Hello, I'm here to talk about Sequest Woodbridge. I was here last week as well, asking questions about what's going on with the animals and why the licenses for Sequest having these animals had not been revoked as of yet. Thankfully, the people from the state, they did actually take some action and revoke the licenses, and they took the animals from Sequest, which Sequest should not have had in the first place. So I'm very glad that someone could do something about that. And we know here that the town council, they do have power to revoke the rest of the licenses for the animals who are still at Sequest. So last week we heard from council president gave a big speech saying that if there was anything that he could do personally, that he would walk down to Sequest, Woodbridge, and bang on the door and ask them to release the rest of the animals, but then acted like there's nothing that could be done when we asked about licenses and permits. Well, then someone else thankfully took action and took those permits away and took the animals away from Sequest. We know that the animals in Sequest are being neglected. We know that they're not in good condition. We know that they're suffering, and we know that they're being exploited for a corporation to make profit from, and that's wrong. And we all know that that's wrong. And now the New York Times has made an article about this, so I'm glad that the word is getting out. But there are still animals at Sequest. They're still trapped there. People can still go and view them like it's some sort of exhibit to make fun or enjoy someone else's captivity. And like the other gentleman said, these animals are like, it's like they're in prison right now. They're in a prison. But they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't commit any crimes. And some of the exotic animals there were taken from places very far away from New Jersey. And by what means they made it to Sequest, we don't know. But they were taken there. Thankfully, they're not there anymore. But there are still animals at Sequest, and they still need help. So what, council, what are you going to do to help those animals? Because last week, you gave us the impression that you were on the side of the animals, that you would do something for them. So I'm asking you now directly. There was a protest last weekend. I didn't see any of the council people there. Okay, so don't act like you don't have any power to do anything about this, because you wouldn't be sitting where you are right now if you didn't have sway or influence or power. So please do something about this.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Sean O'Neill, Metuchen. A friend of mine went into view Sequest when we had a protest, not this past Saturday, but the one before, on video. She has taken two lambs in a tiny little enclosure, and all you see is someone's hand reaching down. You just hear screaming and yelling. The lambs look terrified. It's totally unacceptable. And I would like to just say that I feel that the mayor and the council have all reneged on their oaths of office. When the voters voted you in, I feel that you have betrayed the voters and the taxpayers of this town. I just Googled a lamb can bite a human. So I don't know how you can just sit there and allow all your taxpayers to be at risk of this town being sued because somebody's going to get hurt. So I feel that you all need to step down and resign. You haven't done your jobs.
Sure. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the public?
Hi, my name is Peter Ortiz, and I'm from Newark. I was here 2 weeks ago. I know that you were concerned about the potential implications to the town if something were done to shut down Woodbridge, Sequest Woodbridge, that somehow would put the town into some legal trouble. But, and I said this 2 weeks ago, you really need to think about the even bigger implications of doing nothing. Whether you like it or not, the name of this business is Sequest Woodbridge, and their mistreatment of the animals reflects badly on this town. What kind of message do you think the town is sending to responsible businesses here when you continue to allow Sequest Woodbridge to stay open? What message does that send to your community, to your constituents? And what message and impression does that send to visitors to your town, especially when Woodbridge is part of the Sequest brand? The good news is that Sequest Woodbridge has made this easy for you by their irresponsible actions that have led to the death of 100 animals since 2019, and who knows how many other injured animals there are. Sequest Woodbridge is the poster child of this kind of business that the town should never welcome. You can see that by reading the overwhelming number of negative reviews on TripAdvisor and Google. You still have time to do the right thing for the town of Woodbridge. You have the moral high ground and the leverage here, and you need to use it. You need to let your constituents know that you are standing up for what is right, that you are not okay with allowing a rogue business to continue to operate and to be associated with this town. Sequest Woodbridge days are numbered. The smart thing to do from a moral, ethical, and political stance is to proactively fight to shut it down. Even if you don't have the direct power to shut Sequest Woodbridge down, the public and your constituents need to hear you publicly denounce Sequest Woodbridge and call for its shutdown. Your speaking up matters for Woodbridge and for people you represent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Good evening. My name's Edward from Newark, and I will be talking about the matter at Sequest. And I was here from 2 weeks ago, the last meeting that we all had. I'm going to start with these two quotes, one from the mayor and one from Council President Spiller. From the mayor, he said, "We completely understand the concerns of people that have been coming to our meeting. We are not defending Sequest, and frankly, find many of the accusations of the last several months to be disturbing and revolting, and have no reason not to believe any of the speakers." Council President Spiller said, "There's not any one of us up here that wouldn't love to see every one of those animals in somebody's sanctuary and somebody's home. We've said it over and over again, we don't want to see those animals there. I'd like to give every animal to a sanctuary or adopt or in the ocean." My question to follow up would be what you are all doing personally to help the animals. Did any of you contact the judge, the USDA, the mall owner, or Fish and Wildlife?
Any complaint that we get, we automatically forward off to the proper entity.
Okay. And last point I do want to bring up is who here of you have chosen to walk into that mall, into the Sequest exhibit that has received 3,500 complaints. Have any of you taken a look to see the conditions that the animals are in? No?
That's the question?
Yes. If any of you, from the last time that we had the meeting, did any of you visit and see the animals at the conditions that
I'm
they're
not
in?
going to speak for myself, what we do in our off time, and what we communicate with each other.
Okay. I will close it off by saying I was at that protest following the last meeting we had here, and there was a police officer who stopped by checking to see that there's nothing out of line, that we're all protesting peacefully. And even that police officer said that when they stopped by to look into Sequest, into the exhibition, he could see that the animals were in distress, especially a stingray that he had a very distinct memory of, who was the most uncomfortable in a very tiny tank. I will end it with that. Thank you for hearing us out.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public? If there are no other comments, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion?
Favor aye? Second.
Hello,
Sorry, the public portion's closed. Thank you. We will now move to the agenda portion of tonight's meeting. Item number 16, Greenway Family Success Center is excited to introduce their first caregiver support circle, in which will provide a safe space for parents and caregivers of special needs children right at that center. This will be an ongoing support group every second Wednesday of the month from 11:30 to 1:30. Additionally, this month we will facilitate a parent cafe program that will occur, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'll stop. We all sat here and listened to everybody, so I'll make sure everybody gets to go out and say what you need to talk about in the hallway. You know, we listen to you, you don't have to listen to us, but you will respect the council chambers when the council president is speaking. So I'll wait for everybody that wants to get up and leave, so you can leave, so you're not interrupting us, where we did not interrupt you one bit over the last year. Thank you. I'll do it again. Item number 16, Greenway Family Success Center excited to introduce their first caregiver support circle, in which they will provide a safe space for parents and caregivers of special needs children right at the center. This will be an ongoing support group every second Wednesday of the month from 11:30 to 1:30. Additionally, this month we will facilitate a parent cafe program that will occur at our center on Thursday, March 20th from 5 to 7. That also provides a safe space for parents to reflect on their experiences as a parent. You can contact the center at 732-527-3400, and again, they are located at 1005 Broadway Avenue in Avenel. The rest of my agenda is in order. God bless America. Council Vice President McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have no comments for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council Vice President. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. I have only a few comments. There was a blood drive at Woodbridge High School. I want to congratulate and commend Woodbridge High School for conducting that blood drive. There were many high school seniors who were of age who were able to give blood, and you know, you're saving a life, and I want to continue to encourage the schools in our township to do so. Also, our local employment opportunities website is still active and current. If you are out of work and you're looking for work, please visit that site. We have the United States Postal Service, WIC companies, BASF. Stone Mounting Printing is looking for a customer service rep on a part-time basis, and you can visit that at jobs@smprinting.com. As you saw earlier today, there are a number of young ladies selling Girl Scout cookies throughout the township. Please support our Girl Scouts. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but they're pretty good cookies, you know. So please go out and get some for yourself. I do want to congratulate the Woodbridge High School's boys and girls bowling teams on becoming the GMC Division champions. And along with that, I do want to congratulate our own coach, Amanda Small, who is the daughter of Councilman Small, who was recognized today as the GMC Red Division Coach of the Year and the GMC Conference Girls Coach of the Year. Congratulations. And our Colonia High School Patriots are competing tonight in the state semifinals. Hopefully they'll win that one and move on to the sectional finals for the third year in a row, and we're hoping for a three-peat. They also had back-to-back wins for the GMC County Title of the Year, so they won the GMC title 2 years in a row. And I do want to recognize Aiden Durkak, who is the all-time boys leader as the scorer with 1,682 points. He's going to expand on that tonight. And Aiden has an opportunity. This is girls, Women's History Month, to catch his sister, Taylor, who has over 2,000 points. So he has one more year to do it, but it's nice to see the girls are leading the way. And I want to commend the Independent Club of Colonia for closing out Black History Month with a fantastic event last week. They did a great job of not only recognizing some of our local leaders, they also brought a lot of song, history. There was a lot of education there, and at the same time, they also raised food for our food bank. So I want to congratulate the Independent Club of Colonia, and that is all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Vaccaro is excused. Councilman Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. No announcements tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bauer. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President. Number 16 on my agenda, the American Irish Association will have its 51st annual St. Patrick's Parade, March 9th, stepping off at 1:30 p.m. The parade will exit Woodbridge High School as Zambora Way, followed normal route down Freeman to Linden to Green to Amboy to Maine, ending at Town Hall. Many pipe bands, high school bands, and other entertainment to join our communities from Woodbridge and the surrounding areas. The association welcomes everybody along the parade route. So mark your calendar. This Sunday, 1:30 is the American Irish Parade. God bless all our first responders, and God bless America. That's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Councilwoman DeJesus is excused. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. I just have two thank yous that I want to acknowledge. Thank you to everyone that participated in our 2025 Have a Heart Food Drive. We collected $25,000, over $25,000, more than 220 pounds of food to support the efforts of local food pantries in their work to aid families in need throughout Woodbridge Township. More than 100 township corporations, businesses, schools, charitable organizations, and residents contributed to the success of this year's drive. And then I just want to thank everybody that came out this past Sunday. We held a chili cook-off at Acacia Center. Just want to thank Brian Molnar and Eileen Kanuga from the Rec Department for putting the event together. It was a great day of chili and friendship, but most importantly, it was a beautiful embrace from our community in support of JP May of Colonia, who's battling cancer, and his family. JP has a long fight ahead of him, but he has a strong army behind him. Thank you to everyone that came out to support the family. The love and the kindness in that room on Sunday was incredibly humbling to everybody in attendance. So just thank you for helping this family. It means a lot to them. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Great job. Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. My agenda is also in order, but I have like few announcements. We are approaching St. Patrick's Day in about 2 weeks. I extend my warmest greetings to our vibrant Irish American community in Woodbridge and honor their rich Irish heritage, traditions, and contributions that have helped to shape our Woodbridge community so special. Also, as we celebrate March as a Women's History Month, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all strong, inspiring, and courageous women around the township. Your efforts, resilience, and contributions are invaluable in shaping our community. This month is a tribute to your achievements and struggles, as we are extremely proud of you. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you. My agenda is in order. Just thank you for taking some action on some liquor licenses this evening. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Just want to say that Debbie Meehan thanked a lot of people, but she forgot to thank someone very important in the case, and that was Debbie Meehan, because she brings her army of volunteers from Colonia, Kathy and Tejal and Joanne and Therese, and I don't want to, I'll probably forget half of them, but they're all out there every single time Debbie has something going on. Whenever there's a catastrophe, a tragedy, an illness, whether it's Colonia or anywhere in town, Debbie's team comes to the rescue. It's pancake breakfast, it's a spaghetti dinner, it's, in this case, the chili cook-off baskets, which makes all the money. in these events. The tricky trays make more money actually than the food. So it's just amazing what they do. They're a wonderful group of people. They all like hanging out together. They're best friends, and they work so hard for the cause. Debbie, thank you, and please thank all your friends for the job they did. It was a lot of money for the family that needs it, and it was incredibly touching to see. Everybody who won gave the money back. Even the 50-50 gave the money back. It was such an environment of just feel good that the little guy, 16-year-old, was sitting there in his wheelchair, and it just made everybody feel good, the way people worked and the way people got along. It was wonderful. So Debbie, you're a big part of that, so thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Business Administrator, Mr. Simaluka.
Thank you, Council President. I have several items on my agenda tonight. I have a shared service agreement, an extension of a shared service agreement with the Town of Saraville, DPW, for DPW services. I also have a tax and sewer overpayment, and I have a 100% veteran exemption. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Simaluka. Police Chief Law Enforcement Officer Murphy.
Thank you, Council President. I have my agenda in order.
Thanks, Chief. Director Dorn.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order, and I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And please thank your crews taking care of that little
We got it.
graffiti over at the mural.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Collegan, Health Department.
Nothing today.
Thank you, sir. Lee.
Nothing this evening, Council President.
Thank you. Look for a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Have a good evening. Thank you.